We are back. Our ad break is over. We are good to go. All right, folks, are you ready? The bets are also closed. We have officially 69. That's a great number, guys. How did you guys manage to do that? 69% on the on the nobles at this point. I don't actually know how much that equates to. Let me go to the public contest page here really fast. It's a very nice number. There are currently 31,660 caps placed down for the nobles, 53,000 placed down for the warlocks, of which yours truly is 50,000 of that. So you guys have a chance to be able to earn approximately 53,000 caps going your way, or all of your caps are mine once again. All right. It is time for the real-time simulation, and let's go ahead and make sure that everything is set up here first. Activate the broadcast status. We're going to update every single, let's say, 15 seconds. No. 30 seconds is fine. We're going to be giving you guys a chance to be able to watch this live if you want to be able to do so, okay? If you want to be able to watch this live on your own browser and not have to rely upon the internet and this Twitch stream, basically, you can type exclamation mark box scores. B-O-X, my apologies. Exclamation mark BOXSCORES, box scores. And you should be able to, S at the end there, Death from Above, sorry, box scores. I don't know why we called it box score. I should call it RTS. That's all I should say is exclamation mark RTS. That should be the different version of that. You guys should be able to click on that link as soon as we get started and after it updates for the first time, and you should be able to actually go to your game's box score as it happens live, and it should be updating that live every single 15 seconds or so. It's a great way to be able to actually kind of see what you're looking at, and be able to see your team and not have to do all the other stuff, okay? Yes, it has that option. And then also, Hollywood, if we did not have the real-time simulation, if we did not have the online version, I could do a webcast version of these games, and that is even better looking. But unfortunately, we don't get that. So instead, we do this. This is basically our like sports center approach to an RTS simulation. Games are on the left, top performances, scoring updates above that, our logo above my head, and the other stuff right above that. So, shall we begin? We do have a few games before the nobles and the warlocks are going to be playing, so there will be a little bit of time before you guys will be able to see if you guys are going to retain any of your caps, or if I get to take your caps and your fingertips. But regardless, it is time for a couple of ball games to happen live. Let's begin. Queens and Reapers are squaring off with the Mythics and the Goats as well. Those are our first two games to get started. They had a hit in the top of the first, and they've gotten a runner to second base. Can the Reapers capitalize? And they will! George Brett hits a two-run homer off of the Queens, and it's immediately a 2-0 lead for the Reapers here in the top of the first. They head to the bottom of both ball games. Mythics and the Goats are both scoreless. Slambino hits home run number 1 of the regular season. That was Brett's first homer as well, by the way. And the Queens have responded in kind with their own homer, and a Miami unlucky single has scored Wagner, and it's now tied 2-2. The Goats got a hit in the top of the second, but nothing happening. And then Beamer Bird hits a solo homer, his first of the regular season. That's going to be off of Natwick, I believe. And we head to the top of the third. No, sorry, not Natwick. That was somebody else. The Mythics have taken a 1-0 lead over the Goats. Debbie Nagasawa singles in the top of the second. The Reapers have got a chance. They've got Amir Khan, runners on first and second. Khan is hit by a pitch, which means that Andrews grounds out to Strand. The bases loaded. Speaking of bases loaded, the Mythics had the bases loaded. They do get runs, though. There they go. The Mythics had gotten a runner out at home plate on a play, but then a Jody Weed triple of all things, and a Giancarlo Stanton single has scored 3 runs, and the Mythics now lead 4-0 over the Goats. Not looking so good for the Goats, I'm afraid. We've got runners on for the Reapers as Tony Del Vecchio and Ken Griffey Jr. have gotten the Rockets started against the Trains. Solo homers for both of them. That's Tony D's second homer of the regular season. Ikaika Nuck has hit a solo homer for the Goats that has gotten them on the board. They've got runners on second and third, but they've got 2 down. And they won't be able to get anything else, unfortunately. Danny Smith has hit a 2-run homer against the Frogs, and the Cluckers now take a 2-0 lead. Bert Handsome breaks open the tie once again, and the Queens have got a 3-2 lead in the bottom of the 4th. Congratulations to Bert Handsome. That's home run number 1 of the regular season. The Cluckers are definitely going to be needing more of the Danny Smith home run abilities, especially against Finley Finster. And the Frogs. The Frogs are going to be a tough team all season, and we'll have to see how that goes.
Game, it's easy to think of yourself as
winners. Hold on one second.
Though,
Let us continue, shall we? But once again, welcome, Raiders. Sorry for the internet problems there. You should have all received 1,000 caps for the issues with the internet. If it happens again, you'll get another 1,000 caps. That's just how it goes, okay? I stopped streaming regularly at the right time. Exactly, I rocked this. You stopped at the right time. You really did. It's only gotten worse, okay? It's only gotten worse, unfortunately. All right. Sal Cordoba has hit a solo homer for the Mythics. They now lead 5-1 over the Goats as we resume play across the league. Pablo Sanchez has grounded out to score a run for the Reapers. They have tied the ball game against the Queens. The Trains have gotten the first run.
Give me some more of that.
Brent, thank you so much. Gifting a tier 1 sub over to Max LP80. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do appreciate that. Welcome to the system, Max, for the subscribers. And thank you again, Brent, for that. That is 2,500 caps for you, sir, for that gifted sub. And then, of course, Beamer Bird and Susan Gore combine for a couple more runs at this point. Did that person post something there, Qui-Gon Jake? I didn't even see that. I'm assuming it was the blocked message that I must have missed or something, but thank you, regardless. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do appreciate that. Regardless, Susan Gore and Beamer Bird have both scored a run for the Mythics, and they now lead 7-1. 7-1 over the Goats. Little introduction, I don't stream OTP often, about a game or 2 a week, but we started in 1871 and are completing, commenting throughout the season. Oh, that is awesome, man. Well done. Players and teams are accurately named, but their development paths and teams that they play on are randomized. I love the historical randomization attempts that you can do in OOTP. That is actually one of the best parts of OOTP, is just doing historical games and then just seeing where Ken Griffey Jr. ends up, where Babe Ruth ends up, where, Alex Rodriguez ends up, where does Randy Johnson go? There's so many good storylines you can do every single year. Just the really cool element of OOTP is so cool. And I keep all the games in a scorebook. That's perfect. One of the things I've actually wanted to do about the about the BYP, and something that I've wanted OOTP's developers to do now for a couple of years, is have an integrated scorebook exportation system. A way for you to be able to, once Twitch decides to start acting like a streaming company again, there we go. So the moment that, you could be able to click on a button and it would actually export a scoreboard or a scorecard of the entire game, what happened. I think that would be really, really cool. That would be really, really cool. All right. Before the internet completely goes out, let's go ahead and keep going. By the way, Beamer Bird, 2 homers in the ball game here now for the Mythics. Beamer Bird having a day to remember, even though they're both just solo home runs. Danny Smith has also joined the 2 home run squad as he has a 2-run homer for the Cluckers. They now lead 4-0 over the Frogs. Runners advance on a wild pitch. That scores a run there for the Queens. They now lead against the Reapers 4-3. The Frogs have hit a solo homer with Hughes on first. That's his first home run of the second home run of the season. My apologies. And yes, I think that would be really, really cool. We have a AZAxle rock double scoring in Del Vecchio. That gave the Rockets a 4-1 lead. Oh man, stuff is getting away from me now officially. Woo boy. All right, the Rockets score 4, they score 5, they score 7, they score 8 on a Harry Fast double, Loki Torb Jorbson single, and a Chico Pappas single, scoring in, of course, Loki, Kirkos, Fast, and Axle Rock. So congratulations to the Rockets. They now have an 8-1 lead over the Trains. And then the Mythics scored 2 runs on a Mason Griffiths home run, and they now lead 9-1. The Ninjas have gotten 2 runs on a Hurricane single, scoring in Biggio, and then a hitty ball sacrifice fly, scoring in, of course, Hurricane. The Frogs have gotten their second run of the ballgame. They've cut that lead of the Cluckers in half. That was a wild pitch, scoring in Chuck Norris. So it's now officially 11-1 in favor of the Mythics on IG, and Carlos Stanton 2-run homer. That is his first home run of the regular season. We've got a couple of games here into the 7th innings. That's a 4-3 lead for the Queens over the Reapers, and now an 11-1 lead of the Mythics over the Goats. Keisha Phillips has given the Cacti a chance to be able to answer, and they will, as they get 2 runs in the bottom of the first on a single by Phillips and a single by Utley, scoring in both 2-run singles. 1-run singles, and they now tie up the ball game against the Ninjas 2-2. Julie Beck has hit a solo homer for the Frogs. They now are only down 4-3. And then the Trains are now up, or not up, but they are clawing their way back. It's now an 8-2 ball game. Probably still going to be a long shot for the Trains, but you never know, as the Trains now are down 8-2 against the Rockets. Jose O'Reilly has doubled home Lisa Crockett for the Whistlers. They now have a 1-0 lead over the Armadillos in the bottom of the second. And Chuck Norris. The Frogs are a very good ball club. You got to be careful about the Frogs. They now take a 5-4 lead over the Cluckers in the top of the 5th on Chuck Norris's first home run of the regular season. Congratulations, Chuck Norris. Bert Handsome continues to have quite the impressive day over there for the Queens. He's had a home run and now a double, scoring in a run. They now lead 5-3. 5-3 is the score. That's the Queens leading over the Reapers. That's Pablo Sanchez's ball club. If you don't know who Pablo Sanchez is, let's just do a quick little recap of Pablo Sanchez here for you all. This is Pablo Sanchez, one of the best players in the game, by the way. And I'm on the wrong screen. Hold on really fast. We're going to go back here. This is Pablo Sanchez, very good baseball player. His Reapers are having a little bit of a tough time, though. They lost 10-4 in their first game of the season, and now they are officially down 5-3 in their second game. So it's not going as smoothly as Pablo Sanchez was hoping for. Otherwise, across the league, it looks like the Cacti have taken a 3-2 lead over the Ninjas on a Scooter Pokey double that scored in Exto Forest. And we've got some situations with games in the top of the 8th innings. The Goats are down 11-1. It is not going well, let's just say. They could use a couple of runs right here. If they could get some, they'd love that. They've got runners on second and third, 2 down, and a full count pitch to LaBelle. And she will walk, which means that Teeny Theeny is going to be the last chance, but he grounds out, and they will strand the bases loaded. The Ninjas have tied up the ball game on a Hurricane sacrifice fly, scoring in Kevin Biggio. That kind of feels like what happened earlier in the ball game, but I think it was a single. But regardless, Ninjas and Cacti are all tied up at 3 in the top of the 3rd. Nick, I get run support Jai. Exactly, Kaz Cappy. Of course, Nick Jai gets run support. Why wouldn't Nick Jai get run support? Sal Cordoba has doubled in a run for the Mythics. They now lead 12-1. Estevan Verl ties up the ball game for the Armadillos, who then take the lead on a baseball ball sacrifice fly. The Cacti now have taken a lead over the Ninjas 4-3 on a Mikey Thomas single, and Giancarlo Stanton has hit his second home run of the ball game. He hits a 2-run homer, and the Mythics now lead 14-1. That is not a good sign for Goats fans. Celia Nelson has doubled home a run, and the Queens beat the Reapers 5-3. Nick Jai gets the win, completely upsetting Kaz Cappy in the dugout. It was a good day for the Queens pitching staff, and their offense did just a little bit more than they did in their opening day. Nick Jai goes 7 innings. Liz Cappy goes 2, gets her first save of the season, and it was all queens as they were able to take down the Reapers 5-3. Yes, day and night difference on some of these games in terms of offense. I mean, you've got 8 runs, 14 runs, you got 5 and 4 runs. We still have some close ball games as the Armadillos now take a 4-1 lead over the Whistlers. Ken Griffey Jr. has hit his second home run of the ball game. The Rockets are now leading 11-2. A very good debut for Ty 24, actually. You're right, Hollywood. That was a very good debut. We've got a top of the 9th situation. The Goats are down to their final 2 outs as the Mythics look to capitalize on a 17-hit ball game against the Goats. It has not been pretty, and that ball game is over. Final score 14-1 in favor of the Mythics. It was an absolute blowout in favor of the Mythics. Speaking of blowouts, it looks like the Rockets are on their way to an 11-2 victory as they go to the top of the 8th, and the Frogs are trying to keep the game close as it's a 5-4 lead, and Dante Robinson strikes out swinging with runners on first and second. The Frogs take a huge breath of fresh air and a sigh of relief. The Frogs have a 5-4 lead in the top of the 8th. The Trains are down 11-2 in the top of the 8th. You got a couple of games in the 5th inning. That is, of course, the Armadillos leading the Whistlers 4-1, and then the Cacti still leading the Ninjas 4-3. Hughes on first hits another solo homer. That's his second of the ball game, third of the season. It's been good so far, and the Frogs now lead 6-3. No, sorry, 6-4. My apologies. The Trains have scored a run on a Greasy Utley double, scoring in Roman a day, and they are now only down 11-3. Only 11-3. Okay, it's not that bad, guys. Okay, it's not that bad. Billy Mays has singled home Benson and Biggio, and the Ninjas have retaken the lead over the Cacti. Look at this bar graph, guys. This bar graph is going to go back and forth and back and forth. It's going to be a disaster. Ashley Weber has grounded out, scoring in Ricky Henderson. The Pioneers take a 1-0 lead over the Kings. Finley Murray is in to pitch for the Frogs. He had a phenomenal opening day. He gets Danny Smith to strike out looking, and there is one down in the bottom of the 8th. The Cluckers are looking for a chance to be able to capitalize on a runner on first base, but they've got 2 down, and let's see what happens to their final batter, Swishman. He will ground out to retire the side in the bottom of the 9th. Knuckle Tech has hit a solo homer for the Pioneers. They now lead 2-0. And little Timmy Unger has singled home a run for the Warlocks. They now lead 1-0 over the Nobles in the top of the 1st. Bryce Utley has doubled home Keisha Phillips, and the Cacti now lead 6-5 over the Ninjas. They had taken the lead. If my memory is correct, the Ninjas had taken the lead 5-4 in the top of the 5th. Now the Cacti have regained the lead in the bottom of the 5th. It is going to be a back and forth ball game all night. I can already tell it's going to be that way. Alrighty, we've got the top of the 9th for the Frogs. They lead 6-4. The Rockets finish off the Trains. I believe that final score was, 11-3? Yes, 11-3. 2 homers for Ken Griffey Jr. as the Trains were just absolutely no match for the Rockets. By the way, guys, this is the same Rockets team that we thought was one of the worst ball clubs in the BYP. They're now 2-0. They're doing very well. They've won both of their ball games. They won 10-4 against the Reapers, and now they've won 11-3 against the Trains. So it goes to show that Alex doesn't know what he's talking about sometimes, okay? Dean Danger hits a 2-run homer for the Nobles, his second of the regular season. The Nobles take a 2-1 lead over the Warlocks. Gale Brewer also hits a 2-run homer, this time for the Cacti, though, and it's going to be an 8-5 lead for the Cacti over the Ninjas. The Frogs need 2 more outs, and they will take down the Cluckers 6-4. Let's see what they can do. They've got 1 out. They've got 2 runners on, unfortunately. Bases are now loaded, and Dante Robinson's got a chance to be able to do something big right about here. Dante Robinson doubles home Clark, Souffle, and Wiesen. Dante Robinson has a walk-off double for the Cluckers against the Frogs. Ouch. Ouch. That hurts. That hurts. Lisa Crockett has doubled home a run for the Whistlers, and they now are only down by they're down by 2 runs. 4-2 is the score over there. And then Billy McBaron has singled home, I believe that's Wally Evans, and the Kings have now tied up the ball game against the Pioneers. That's Roy Halladay starting for the Kings, by the way. Very good pitcher over there. Yeah, unfortunately, a bad outing for the Frog. That's a game they really should not be losing. Finley Murray, unfortunately, blowing his first save of the season. Just did not have the right setup in the bottom of the 9th, and Dante Robinson is a person that can capitalize on that. The Ducks have taken a lead over the Bats here in the bottom of the 3rd on a Gorgo de Gamer sacrifice fly, scoring in Jimbo. We've got a couple games in the 7th, couple games in the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd innings, respectively. That's an 8-5 lead for the Cacti over the Ninjas. 4-2 lead for the Armadillos over the Whistlers. And then, of course, we have a 1-0 lead for the Ducks over the Bats. Never mind, I take that back. The Bats have scored a run in the top of the 4th. That's a Mike Piazza single scoring in Wade Beers. And they now have tied up the ball game. Hideki Katsui has hit a 2-run homer for the Kings. They now lead 4-2 over the Pioneers in the bottom of the 4th. If the Cluckers can only muster 3 runs off the number 2 pitcher, that's not a great sign. But you'll take the win, Tim. You'll take the win. Robin Young has singled home Jose O'Reilly, and that gives the Whistlers just a 1-run difference, and they get both of those runs on, I'm assuming, errors. The Whistlers have scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th. That's going to be a single, and then an error on a single, and it scores 2 runs. So, Whistlers take a 5-4 lead over the Armadillos, and Mikey Thomas has given the Cacti a 9-5 lead on a solo homer here in the bottom of the 7th. That's his 2nd home run of the regular season, by the way. Evan Longoria hits a 2-run, makes a 3-run home run for Evan Longoria in the bottom of the 7th, and the Whistlers now lead 8-4 against the Armadillos. It is an onslaught now over there. These games seem to pick up in pace for offense as they get later into the ball game, which is kind of nice, but also kind of scary for a lot of these teams in their bullpens. They're not that good. So we've got some games into the, what looks to be the 8th innings at this point. Once the Armadillos advance into there we go. Top of the 8th for the Armadillos, they're down by 5. Top of the 8th for the Ninjas, they're down by 4. As Boom Boom McBroom doesn't hit the homer, but he does hit the double. He scores Aaron and Beers, as Aaron had doubled right before him, I believe. That means the Bats now lead 4-1 over the Ducks. Estevan Verl has hit a homer, a 2-run homer, in the top of the 8th. The Armadillos are only down by 3 now at this point, and the Cacti continue to add on more runs against the Ninjas. They now lead 10-5, and they are still threatening with nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. 4-2 is your score still for the Kings over the Pioneers. 2-1 is still the score between the Warlocks and the Nobles. We'll see if anything else could happen because of that game over there. Stephanie Morgan has grounded out, scoring in Cordwangle, who had singled in Exto Forest, and the Cacti now lead 11-5. Faye Dawson has hit a 3-run homer for the Coyotes, and they now lead against the Owls 3-0. 3-0 is the score over there. Bears and Giants are underway. That's a instant run-scoring sacrifice fly for Willie Carranza. That gives the Bears a 1-0 lead over the Giants. The Ninjas have gotten a run back. They are now down by only 5 runs. Only 5 runs. As Marina Peck hits a solo homer to start off the top of the 9th inning, basically. Gary Allen has singled, so the Ninjas are down to their final 3 outs, but they do have a runner on, and they're only down by 5 runs. You never know. You never know. Okay, never mind. That's probably over. Brett Benson grounds into a fielder's choice. Biggio flies out. It's all down to Hurricane. What can Hurricane do? He singles, which means it's all down to Hitty Ball. Runners on first and second. Hitty Ball up to bat. Umberto Andrews trying to close out the ball game. Can the Cacti do it? No, a double by Hitty Ball. Scores in 2 runs. It's going to be a fun one to end here, folks. Ninjas are only down by 3. That means it's save situation time, and that means it's going to be Roomba time. Roomba time for the cacti. And I guess we're looking for ground outs here. Something on the ground. We'll see about that. But the cacti struggling to keep the game away at this point. The Owls have also gotten 2 runs on a Vinny the Gooch single and a Jackie Wells sacrifice fly. They now are only down 3-2 against the Coyotes. But let's find out what happens here between the Ninjas and the cacti. Willie Mays is the next batter here for the Ninja. They've got runners on second base. Willie Mays up to the plate against Roomba. 1-2 pitch on the way, and that will do it. The cacti will hold on to their game, and they will finish with a final score of 11-8. The Whistlers will also take down the Armadillos 9-6. Yes, you were right. The Nobles need to stop leaving runners on base and stop giving up runners. They've got runners on first and second for the Warlocks here in the top of the 5th with 1 person down. The manager is the AI, I'm afraid, Backyard Sports Center. It's unfortunately the AI. It's not me. Frank Thomas has doubled home, I believe, 2 runs for the Ducks. They now are only down 4-3 against the Bats. And the Coyotes scored 2 runs on a double by Sailor Pottles. That scored Kaufman and Wasersis, and that has given the Coyotes a 5-2 lead in the top of the 2nd over there. The Nobles are able to get out of trouble as Timmy Unger flies out. That ends the inning for the Warlocks. We head to the bottom of the 5th. The Nobles still lead 2-1. Will Hunt has grounded out for the Coyotes, scoring in a run. It's now 6-2. And Jumbo Jimbo has doubled home Herman and Thomas. And the Ducks now lead 5-4 over the Bats. That's an impressive situation. I don't know if that would technically be an upset. I would not expect the Ducks to be taking down the Bats. Sam Hopper has singled home a run for the Coyotes. That was Trout being scored on the play, and they now lead 7-2 over the Owls. So Owls not looking so good today, unfortunately. And then Eric LeBeau is singled home Freeman, and the Giants have now tied up against the Bears 1-1. I believe both of those ball clubs are 1-0 right now. In the bottom of the 5th, the Nobles have got a chance to score a run here, and they can't. Killablu grounds out, leaving the runner on second base. And we'll have to see how they can do in the top of the 6th. It looks like Jerry Santillan has doubled home Ricky Henderson, and the Pioneers are now down by only 1 run. And they've got a runner on third base. A chance to be able to tie up the ball game, but Marcellus Marks will fly out. And the Kings will take their 4-3 lead into the bottom of the 8th. Top of the 7th, the Bats, my apologies, have tied up the ball game on a Boom Boom McBroom double, scoring in Wade Beers. How good has Boom Boom been so far, guys? Man, he's having a great season so far at this point. And the Bats are looking to take the lead here, but they will not. Yes, the Nobles just need to get to shadow bans. They'll be fine if they can just get to shadow bans. Mike Schmidt has hit a sacrifice fly for the Giants. They now lead 2-1 in the top of the 3rd over the, okay, someone just did something, and it was either strikeouts or something else, but a little bit of something else to fix here, OOTP. What does this mean? What does this mean? I'm assuming it's a strikeout indication, something akin to so-and-so has done something inside the game that's not so good and you don't want to broadcast it, but you still are supposed to, so it just doesn't come out very well. Regardless, Ricky Johnson singles home Pillow Pants, and the Nobles have taken a 3-1 lead over the Warlocks. Alex's Caps are starting to look in trouble here as Tony Gwynn triples home 2 runs. 2 RBI triple for Tony Gwynn, and the Nobles now lead 5-1 over the Warlocks. This is game 2 of the regular season, Schnee. Yes, game 2. Jessica Wasarsis singles home Kaufman. The Coyotes now lead 8-2 over the Owls, and the Kings keep their minor victory over the Pioneers. 4-3 is the final score. The Pioneers start off the season, I believe, now 1-1 after their great game from Abinduct in game number 1. Sugar Sox still has a great day, but isn't quite enough, and they will fall in game 2. Alrighty, we're going into the 8th and 7th innings. The Bats have got runners on the corners and one down, but Ahmed Khan is caught stealing second, and Samantha Winslow pops out to retire the side. The Ducks keep the tie ball game as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Yes, Jibbo to Hibbo is the person for the Sports Center Club. I don't know if we're going to see to Hibbo today, but we'll see about that. Maybe you come in. Maybe if it's far enough. I mean, to be honest, you'll probably have Shadow Bands come in here and pitch instead. But might be able to see to Hibbo down the road. We'll see about that. Days and Guile hits a solo homer off of Billy Douglas, by the way. That gives the Warlocks a 3-run deficit instead of a 4-run deficit. And then Tyr McKenzie has hit a solo homer for the Bears. They tie up the ball game against the Giants. The Owls had runners in second and third, but 2 down, and Jorge Garcia grounds out. And they'll head to the top of the 4th. Oh, no. The Warlocks are coming back. Bradford Smart hits a 2-run homer off of Billy Douglas, who's starting to tire here in the 7th inning. It's now a 5-4 ball game. The Warlocks are within 1 run of the Nobles. I'm learning a lot watching from the bullpen. Exactly. It's not a bad place to be. You'll learn a lot for the first couple of games. It's a good place to be. Unger flies out, and look who's in the ball game. They made a call, someone's walking down, and it's Jibbo to Hibbo. Jibbo to Hibbo comes in to pitch for the Nobles here at the top of the 7th. He's got to get at least 1 out. Get the ball to Shadow Bands in the 8th. Come on, Jibbo, you can do this. By the way, top of the 9th, the Bats are down to their final 2 outs to keep this from being potentially a tie or a loss. They need to get a run here against Descanacito, one of the better relief pitchers in the game for the Ducks. Ducks are looking to get a good chance here to go for a tie or a win. Hank Aaron grounds out. It's all down to Wade Beers. What can Wade Beers do? Wade Beers will strike out swinging. Oh, no. Oh, no, indeed. All right, I know you guys are all focused on the Jibbo to Hibbo game at this point in the Nobles, but I'm looking at this Bats and Ducks game because this is going to be big if the Bats lose to the Ducks. That is huge. Jibbo to Hibbo gets the strikeout. Elijah Nalau strikes out looking against Jahibbo, a great start for his career. And Heather Quinn has hit a solo homer for the Owls. They are now down 8-3 against the Coyotes. And an immediate answer from the Nobles. Dean Danger hits his 2nd home run of the ball game, number 3 of the season, and the Nobles now lead 6-4. That is a huge hit right there by Dean Danger. Man, how good has Dean Danger been this year so far, guys, too? Man, number 3 overall pick, forced to be number 3, and he is answering the bell every single time. Congratulations, hero. Be very proud about that. All right, the Ducks have got a runner on second base, 1 down. It's the Gamer. Chance to be able to walk it off. He grounds out. The runner has to stay at second base. It's going to be down to Barrios. Can Barrios do it? He will line out. We'll go to extras. Extra innings between the Bats and the Ducks. The ratings had Dean at about number 20. Number 20 hero driver. Not even 17, 20. Crescent Roll has doubled home Smith for the Owls. They're now down 8-4 against the Coyotes. Let's see if the Bats can get anything here against the Ducks. It's going to be Boom Boom McBroom starting us off here in the top of the 10th. They've got a chance to be able to drive some runs home, but he strikes out looking. Mike Piazza, the next potential person here. Descanacito continuing to pitch here in the top of the 10th. This is scary. This is really bad territory, and the Bats waste no time. No wasted time for the Bats. They get a 2-run homer by Mike Piazza. They now lead 7-5 in extras. Pillow Pants has tripled for the Nobles. They now have a runner on third base with 1 down. And then Vinny the Gooch and Eric Kelly have singled and doubled home a run each. It's now 8-6 in favor of the Coyotes. The Owls are coming back with a fervor. Wow. Alrighty, let's see if the Ducks can answer back in the bottom of the 10th. They need to have a response here to the 2-run homer that Mike Piazza just did. Otherwise, the Bats are going to win this ball game at this point. Payne grounds out. Haversham strikes out, and so does Woodrow. So unfortunately, we will be down to the top of the 8th. Let's see if they let DeHibo continue to pitch here in the top of the 8th. We will see what the Nobles decide to do. Is it going to be DeHibo, or is it going to be Shadow Bands? Jackie Wells has doubled home Eric Kelly. The Owls are now down by 1 in the bottom of the 4th. Let's see what they can do. It is going to be Shadow Band. So unfortunately to Hibbo, it's just going to be 1 out. But in all honesty, that's all you need. That's all you need, okay? Don't be upset that they take you in for the 1 out and they pull you out for Shadow Bands. Shadow Bands is definitely the person to have right here. All right, it's going to be a big one. By the way, Jorge Garcia has hit a 2-run homer. The Owls have come back from an 8-2 deficit to now have a 9-8 lead against the Coyotes. The Bats have had Hammer Longballo single, and Ahmed Khan is going to have Chris Rodriguez to play against at this point. Top of the 8th we go. Nobles and Warlocks. Bands is looking to have a quick inning here. He'd like to be able to get through the, looks like to be the bottom half of the order here pretty quickly. You want to be careful not to get back around to the top of the lineup. Ahmed Khan has singled. The Ducks need another out right here. Oh, are we losing frames again? Oh, good grief. Hold on. Let me make sure it's just a little blip instead of a full-on blip. Okay, I think we're good. It's back to green again. I don't know why it does that, but it does. Thank you, Brent, for letting me know. The frames did dip for a quick second there. They're still fluctuating. Come on, Internet. You can do it. Apologies while the Internet decides it wants to figure out whether or not it wants to Internet or not. I will hold us here on pause until I can figure out what it's doing. Man, it's like it just doesn't know whether or not it wants to actually act like the internet or act like a sinking ship. All right, I think we're back to normal now officially. I do believe we are back to normal. If you pause the stream and then play it again, it should normally refresh itself without having to refresh the page. That's what I've found to be the best way of being able to do that. All right. We should be good. Should be good. At least for right now. And we shall continue. We shall pursue further simulations. And on we go. Samantha Winslow grounds out for the Bats. They go to the bottom of the 10th. They have a 7-5 lead over the Ducks. That's going to be a huge win if they can come back and take that in extra innings. Also, Willie Carranza has hit a 2-run homer. Sorry, a solo homer, my apologies. For the Bears, they now lead... excuse me, they now lead 3-2 over the Giants. And we're watching the Bears and the Giants, the Ducks and the Bats, the Warlocks and the Nobles, and the Coyotes and the Owls. Some very close ball games. Almost all of them are 1 run, except for the top 2 ones, which are 2-run ball games. There you all go for the issues. I don't know why OBS is the one having problems tonight. This is not the internet's fault. This is all OBS. So, indeed. All right, so while you guys were gone for the 5 or 6 seconds there, the Ducks were taken down by the Bats. It is a 7-5 victory for the Bats in extra innings over the Ducks. It is a sad day for the Ducks, but you know what? They only have themselves to blame, unfortunately. The Bears still hold on a 3-2 lead as the Giants go to the top of the 7th. Bottom of the 5th, the Owls still lead 9-5, and we go to the top of the 9th. The final chance for the Warlocks against the Nobles. Nobles are trying to cap off a good victory here. 6-4 is the score. They've got Shadow Bands on the mound. Brandy Houston's the first batter here in the top of the 9th. Let's see. Let's see if chat and 69% of the chatters in the channel can earn. So of the 69% of people who put down some bets. Let's see if you guys can actually get some caps to your names here tonight. The Nobles give up a walk to Brandy Houston to start off the inning. That's not good. AZAxle singles, runners on first and second. The Warlocks have the tying run on first base as Nell Hebert stepped up to the plate. Fielder's choice out at second, Bradford Smart. He is representing the go-ahead run at the plate. Runners on the corners, one down. Let's see if Shadowbands can get the final out of the game here. He just needs a double play. That's all he needs. Jocinda Smith has singled home a run for the Owls. They now lead 10-8 in that ball game over there. But all of the attention is on the Nobles. What can Shadowbands do? He'll get Bradford Smart to strike out swinging. Little Tim Younger is the final hope for the Warlocks. Crescent roll, triples in Smith, and the Owls now lead 11-8, and that will do it. The Nobles do take down the Warlocks. Final score 6-4. Nobles win their second ball game of the season. Congratulations. A good outing there by their starter, a good save by Shadowbands, and there go a whole bunch of Alex's caps. And that's a good thing. Nobles get the victory. You guys all get to be able to earn some caps if you put a bet down for the Nobles. Eric Kelly has hit a 2-run homer for the Owls. That is his first home run of the regular season. And the Owls now lead 13-8. We're going to go ahead and speed up a little bit here. Otherwise, we're kind of wasting a little bit of too much time. We've got a ball game in the top of the 6th, a game in the top of the 8th, and a game that hasn't even been started yet. So we got to start speeding up a little bit here. Eric Kelly has had 4 hits in the ball game. He's the number 2 player of the day at this point. We'll have to see if that holds true. It looks like we're into the bottom of the 8th. The Bears still hold on to that 3-2 lead over the Giants, and then we still have a 13-8 lead for the Owls. Guys, how big of a game has this been for the Owls? They were down 8-2, and now they are up 13-8. Ridiculous numbers. Bears get a run on a Jim O'Roney single, scoring in Banks. It's now 4-2. The Coyotes have gotten 2 runs on a Faye Dawson double. It's now 10-13 over there. The Bears are only able to get the 2 runs. When I was done with them, did the Frogs hold on? The Frogs did not. Unfortunately, Finley Murray gave up 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th. Sorry, it was a 3-run double. Walk-off double for Dante Robinson, unfortunately. Bases were loaded, and they lost the ball game. So, sad day for Frogs fans. Yeah. We'll have to have a talk about that in his bedroom later. Paco Kaufman has singled home Dawson, and the Coyotes are now down by only 2 runs. The Giants are down to their final 2 outs. They've got a runner on first base, though. Tying run at the plate. That's Star Moonbeam. And Moonbeam has walked, which means it is all down to you down with OBP. Jocinda Smith has had 4 hits in the ball game for the Owls, but we're really paying attention to down with OBP, full count pitch, potential to load up the bases, but he grounds out against Maya Day, and it'll be down to Raquel Colon. Final chance here for the Giants. They've got runners on second and third, 2 down. Raquel Colon against Maya Day. Can Maya finish up the ball game? Raquel Colon has walked, which means it's Mike Schmidt time. Mike Schmidt, bases loaded, 2 down, and Mike Schmidt is retired. The Bears beat the Giants. 4-2 is the final score, and the Bears are now 2-0 to start the regular season. Speeding it up again now at this point, as we have only 2 ball games left. Bruce Springsteen doubles home a run. Will Hunt has doubled home a run. And the Coyotes have got runners. Bases are loaded for the Coyotes at 13-13. And they strand the bases loaded. Bases are loaded and left that way as the Coyotes are not able to capitalize. It's a 13-13 ball game over there. They go to the bottom. Sorry, make that top of the 9th. Top of the 9th we go. Last chance for the Coyotes to not get a loss or a tie if we go to extras. And they are retired 1-2-3. Bottom of the 9th we go. Bottom of the 9th we go. Final opportunity here for the Owls before we go to extras. One down as Blueberry is in to pitch here for the Coyotes. This has been an offensive juggernaut day. Good grief. It is 2-0 Admirals taking a 2-0 lead against the Captains on a 2-run homer by Pete Wheeler. Can the Owls get a walk-off here? Jocinda Smith has got nobody on. And a 2-1 pitch on the way from Blueberry. And Jocinda Smith will ground out. Ground out indeed. We will head to extra innings for the Coyotes. They will get the first crack at extra innings. Omar Stefano might still be pitching. They will intentionally walk Bruce Springsteen. Let's see what Will Hunt can do. Nobody out, runners on first and second. Will Hunt is going to ground into a double play. Mike Trout is intentionally walked. Sam Hopper is the final hope for the Coyotes here in the top of the 10th. He's got a 0-2 pitch, and he strikes out looking. Sam Hopper strikes out looking, and it'll be all up to the Owls. Ladies and gentlemen, are we going to have our first tie of the regular season? Again, one of the cool parts about the BYP is that if you remain tied after the 10th inning, your game will remain tied permanently. It is a tie for life. Danny Boyd has grounded into a fielder's choice, scoring in Captain Kegleg. The Captains score back against the Admirals. It's now 3-1 as Fritz von Hastig has singled home McDonald, and it's now 3-1 in favor of the Admirals. A chance here for the Owls, and they will capitalize. Crescent roll doubles home Smith. The Owls take the win 14-13 against the Coyotes. We will not have our first tie of the regular season. Bummer. Alrighty, Stuart Sullivan tripled home von Hastig. The Admirals now lead 4-1 as we speed up the simulation just a little bit here, folks. Ty Cobb has tripled home a run, scoring in Sullivan. It's now 5-1 in favor of the Admirals. 5-1 in favor of the Admirals. Let's see if the Captains can answer back in kind. Lena Inge has singled. Cutie Pie, a big hitter here for the Captains. He'll ground to a double play, unfortunately. And Cal Ripken Jr., their final hope here in the top of the 3rd inning, is going to strike out looking. So, our final game, I'm going to go ahead and speed up a little bit faster at this point. There's no reason to not do that. Single for cash considerations, a double for McDonald, and Fritz von Hastig having a day. All right, Fritz, 2 for 2 day, 4 RBIs, a homer to boot now. And the Admirals now lead 8-1, make that 9-1, make it 12-1. Pete Wheeler has hit his 2nd home run of the ball game. Petrovic has hit a homer. Cash considerations has hit a home run. It's going to be a blowout for the Captains. Captains are not looking good. They're down 14-1 in the top of the 4th. They are retired 1-2, almost 1-2-3, and we'll head back into the bottom of the 4th. So this game is going nowhere fast for the Captains, unfortunately. How many triples has Ty Cobb hit in this ball game? It says 2, but I don't think it's been 2. Pete Wheeler singled home Ty Cobb. It's now 15-1. The Admirals just not looking that good. They're not looking very good, guys. The Admirals are now leading 17-1. A double by cash considerations. A single by Stuart Sullivan is now 18-1. Ty Cobb has walked. A ground out from Pete Wheeler finally ends the bottom of the 5th. It's 18-1 in favor of the Admirals. It's now 18-2. As a single by Captain Kegleg at least gives the Captains some hope? Do they even have a pen left? That is a great question. So they've been throwing... So Weber did terrible. They put in Bluer for about 1/3 of an inning. Trent Sizemore managed to do an inning and a third. Crittenden is their last reliever. They're going to have to burn their other starter, which means their other starter will be tired for the next game. So they're hoping that Crittenden can probably go at least through the 7th inning. You've got to be imagining they're hoping he can get through the 7th. Yes, Crittenden out for the 7th inning. Fritz von Hastig has tripled. Von Hastig is a double away from the cycle. Ty Cobb is a homer away from the cycle. The Admirals now lead 19-2 as a Stuart Sullivan single drives home the run. It's not looking good. It's now 21-2 as Crittenden is just trying to get out of the inning, and he does finally. Pete Wheeler doubles home Cobb. He now has 4 hits in the ballgame. Cobb has 5. It's 21-2 in favor of the Admirals. It's just not going well. It's just not going well at all. The Admirals, bottom of the 8th. Chuck Ball is going to have to pitch at least 3 outs. Or no, 2 outs at least. Fritz von Hastig continues to bat. He has 4 hits now. It's 21-3. Yes, the Admirals came to play football. They forgot what sport this was. And that's the game. 21-3 is your final score. We ended up seeing 25 hits for the Admirals. They also had 3 walks to their name as well. They had 4 stolen bases. They had 5 home runs. They had 5 doubles, 4 triples. That's a pretty good ball game right about there, folks. Ty Cobb had a day to remember. A single, 2 doubles, 2 triples, 3 RBIs, a stolen base, and a walk. He was 5 for 5 in the ball game. 5 for 5. That is your game number 2s. Game number 2s, ladies and gentlemen. Ty Cobb has a phenomenal game. We only have 5 teams undefeated. We have immediately cut our undefeated teams in half. We have 5 winless ball clubs. That is the Ducks, the Goats, the Reapers, the Trains, and the Captains. We have 5 undefeated teams. That is going to be the Nobles, the Cacti, the Rockets, the Bears, and the Whistlers. Congratulations, everybody who won. My apologies to those who lost, but you know what? Play harder next time. Our real-time simulation for that day is over, which means it is time for the next games. We are going to do one more.